The greatest teaching I received in my life was actually a conversation I had with a 70-year-old lady who was caring for her husband in the cancer ward I was working at as a psycho-oncologist. And, she told me her story, how she sacrificed her whole life for her husband. She worked for him as an assistant in his office, and then unfortunately he became very, very ill. So she cared for him and she sacrificed everything. After he was discharged, and he was discharged free of cancer, actually, suddenly I met her again in the hospital and I said, "What are you doing here?" And she said, "Well, unfortunately, now I'm a cancer patient." I really couldn't believe it. I was feeling so sorry for this lady. And then the next time I came into her room, she said, "Oh, my dear child, I'm not going to be here next week." And I was really shocked because I'd grown so fond of her. I'd been meeting her every day almost for a year. And then I sat down next to her on the bed and I really couldn't hold back my emotions. I got so teary-eyed and she was just sitting there really serious and saying, "What's wrong with you, child?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, I feel so sorry for you." And I started crying and crying and crying. And then she suddenly looked at me and she hugged me like a mom. And she said, "Oh, my dear child, don't cry for me. Nobody has ever cried for me." And then suddenly we were crying there together. This was, I think, the first time in her life she actually could cry. And after we had cried for quite a long time, she said, "I am so grateful that you helped me cry for myself." And why am I telling you this story? Well, this lady, this sweet old lady, she never managed to live her own passion. She never managed to actually find the joy in her own life. She sacrificed everything for her husband, for his joy, for her children, and she forgot about herself. And then suddenly there she was in hospital. And this completely changed my life. I stopped working at the hospital and I really began to turn my life around. I was so much more humble. I spent so much more time with my children, with me time. I tried to take and make the best out of my life. And I swore that no matter how old I would become, I would always, always try to improve myself and live my fullest potential. And this is what I've done for the past 25 odd years. And this is what I've been teaching. And this is what I love. I love to live my highest potential and show people how to do this in their life, so they don't forget the joys and the little blessings in their life, because we never know when life is over. It can hit any time. So make the best out of your life.